Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
You're feeling very relaxed. I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks, Style Without Stress. I love this topic, Kelly, because I think decorating can be so stressful for some people.
Well, we hear that so often from our listeners or blog readers that people get all bunched up inside when they start thinking about decorating. They don't know where to start, or they don't know where to go. They really get hung up on what their style is and how they have to recreate something they may have seen in a magazine. So it can be stressful. It's coupled with some very obvious stressors. You have to make decisions, which sometimes is difficult, and decisions you're going to have to maybe live with for a long time if it's paint color or expensive furnishings. And yes, expense. It costs money to decorate sometimes. So all those things added together in conjunction with trying to make everyone in your house happy can really lead to a stressful situation. But we know it doesn't have to be like that. So we're going to pass on some ideas and tips and suggestions today to take the stress out of decorating for everyone.
Yeah, and I would say it's broken up into two sections today. The first section is kind of what's going on in your head, kind of things to make the decorating process itself less stressful. And the second part are things that you can do in your home to make living in your home less stressful. So we're de-stressing the decorating process and the life in your home. Those are the things that we're really focused on today. So we'll do the part in your head first.
Yeah. Let's get into your heads first. We're going to crawl in there first.
You want to start?
Sure. We'll kick it off with emphasizing that you should not stress about trying to figure out what your style is. As we always say, we want you to develop your own style. So that should be a fun process. You shouldn't put yourself under the gun or under a time frame, and you should let your style be an expression of what you love and your life lived and the life you want to live and live out with the people who you're in your home with. So take time to develop it. Enjoy the process. Don't try to compartmentalize or pigeonhole your look. Don't even try to put a name on it necessarily, or just call it your name, because your home should be a reflection, a mirror of you, the best of you, because that's what you want to be around all the time.
Well, and I think one thing I would add to what you're saying is I think it is helpful to know your style or have a name for it, but with the caveat, if this is stressing you out, if you can't figure out what that is, then don't worry about it. It's okay. You can move forward without that step. Give up on this whole concept of a perfect home. I hear things like, well, my house is just so small. I don't like my kitchen. My kitchen is dated, or this or that. And you know what? We all have something in our houses that just isn't where we want it to be. But we want you to kind of embrace, we want you to be happy with wherever you are. So I think this whole thought of perfection is best thrown out the window. And I understand that's easier said than done for some personality types. But I know, for example, at the farm, the dog scratches are bad on the floors. It's bad. It really looks bad. I'm not kidding. But you know what? I've just had to say, I love my collie, and this is just, it is what it is. And you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. This is not going to impact how much I enjoy it out there. So I think you just have to say, this doesn't have to be perfect for me to enjoy it.
That's a really important thing to talk about. And everybody has a different level of what perfection means to them. And my idea of perfection might be a little over the top compared to what other people might be.
It might be.
Because that's just sort of the way I am. But having things in order and all of that, I think that's really important to distress for everyone. So we'll get onto different points like that as we go through the show. Find what can kind of give for you. Like Anita saying about the dog scratches on the floor. Well, embrace those because Molly the collie is so fabulous and she's making her mark literally and figuratively on the house and on the family. And that's just part of their lives. She's a part of the fabric of her lives. So that's okay. Or like if you have a really messy teenager for a period of time, I've come out to the other side with one of them. I can't even believe the transition, but it happened. I would open my daughter's door and get so stressed out and think, I don't have an hour and a half to clean them. Just shut the door. And then if some other thing, if you need to get things done and the dishes don't get done until later in the evening, the breakfast dishes are there. Well, sometimes it just can't get done. So kind of figure out what you can let go and what level of less than perfect is livable for you.
Or maybe you have small kids and you just have toys out. Yeah. And that is just where you are.
Yeah.
You know what? That's okay. I mean, that's just the phase of life that you're in.
Right.
And I would just embrace it because that's not going to last forever. I think about you and I as collectors of antiques, Kelly. We kind of have this appreciation for these antiques. And the antiques always come with knots and dings and wormholes and scratches. And, it's kind of part of the patina of the piece. And if a piece comes to me and it's perfectly pristine, I really don't even buy that it's an antique. So if you're a collector of antiques, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You are used to the patina thing and you get that adds value and that is what makes the piece so special and unique is the life that it's lived. And it has come complete with, scars to prove it basically. And so I think we kind of need to apply that approach to our homes and just say, you know what, they're not perfect. And this is just kind of part of the charm of the home. And I think in some of these European countries where the houses are 200-300 years old, they get this better than Americans do because you don't get a new house usually. So you don't get a house that's all perfectly painted that has no marks and dings. By the time you get it, it's already pretty worn in with a lot of defects.
Absolutely. I just read an article about embracing the patina and how not only is it imperfect, but it actually makes your home so much more beautiful. So if you haven't already embraced that way of decorating or adding decorative pieces with patina to your home, I highly suggest you do because I don't really care if somebody gets a mark on even my dining room table because it's all banged up already. I mean, it just sort of adds to the character. So it really does lowers the stress on caring for your items if they've already got this great patina or rusty business going on anyway. It's like, well, the more the merrier, leave your own mark, come on, Molly, walk on my table, it's fine.
I don't think you want that. And now here's another thought on your decorating approach, and that is to not worry about what other people think. And
that's a tough one.
I know. And
people.
This, I understand this is so personality driven because some personalities are very concerned about what other people think. And then some people, it doesn't really bother them. And we're bloggers, so people see pictures of our homes all the time. We're on Instagram and everywhere. So Kelly and I get lots of feedback. So I definitely have had my share of people that just don't like my home. And, that's just kind of part of it. And I had to just kind of come to that place where I just say, you know what, it's just not their style. And so when someone says they don't like my house online, I don't feel like I've failed. I just see it as, you know what, I'm just not their cup of tea. My house is not their cup of tea. And I just go on about my business because, you know what, it's okay. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not upset. I just kind of.
I am. I'm always mad at them. Come on, Anita, you're a little mad at them too. No, it's so true. You can, if
not
you're
usually.
I'm joking. If you're in this business and it gets you upset to see a person who doesn't like your house, well, then you shouldn't be posting on Instagram, whether you're a professional influencer blogger or just somebody who likes to share their home. Because you know what? If you're doing anything, if you're making any interesting moves out there, there's going to be somebody who doesn't like what you're doing. Some of the stuff though on YouTube kind of blows me away because usually on the blogs and stuff, I really never have anyone. Most of the people that I encounter on my blog throughout the years if they didn't have something nice to say, I guess they didn't say it. I'm sure there were people didn't like it. They just stopped reading or went the other way.
Right,
but on YouTube, it's the craziest business.
Oh, well, in Facebook, that is just
the fact that I painted my woodwork. I mean, if I took all of that personally, I'd be scrubbing all the paint off and, crying in the corner. Just like, whatever. It's my house. It's your house. Even if you have a neighbor or a sister or a friend who doesn't seem to like what you're doing, well, it's not their house.
The other thing I used to say to bloggers when they would come on the Facebook groups and be upset because somebody had said something mean about their house and everyone was consoling them. And,
Girls. Right?
No. I mean, and that was good. I mean, I think that was good to say, you know what, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But I would always say, rather than, for you, I would say, you know what, congratulations. You've made it. Because to me, that's part of the process of becoming, a personality on a platform is to have a troll. So, I just see it as a rite of passage. So if you've had somebody not like your house, then congratulations, you've made it.
It's really kind of true. And what do they say? Any press is good press. You're shaking it up. You're impacting someone. Most of it is positive, but there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like it. So just let it slide. Whatever.
And it's just right. And I just want to emphasize this again. If somebody doesn't like your house, it does not mean that your house is not good looking, that your house is not beautifully done. It just means either the person is rude or the person just doesn't like your style. It's just not their style.
Or they have absolutely no taste. And there's a lot of people like that. Don't even worry about it.
Exactly. So I think if you can move past that, then you'll be so much happier in life.
Yes. So true.
Did you have any other
No
thoughts?
time for haters.
I know. So are we between the ears now, or are we going to move into the house?
Are we between the ears? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, let me just say something. If you are in the midst of renovating or doing a pretty expansive redecorating of your home, a way to eliminate or at least reduce the stress of that time period is to prioritize. And maybe you limit it to 3 of your top priorities and you address them. And rather than trying to address all fronts at one time, I would also suggest narrowing it to one room at a time so you can finish something. Definitely a stress reliever, because if you're water bugging all over the place, it's never going to feel like you've really done anything. There's going to be a lot of rooms in chaos.
Oh, I so agree. I love the approach of doing one room at a time, because then when you finish that one room, it is such a sense of accomplishment and you feel just so happy. And then you have that one room that you can enjoy. Whereas if your whole house is in process, you don't have one room that you can go in and sit in and say, this room is done and I can enjoy this room. So yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. Now I think we can get into the actual house, right?
Okay. Well, this is something that I instituted earlier this year, and I'm embarrassed to say only this year did I start doing this. And that is that every day I file everything that needs to be filed. So any receipts, anything, any papers coming in the door, anything I needed to print out, it's all put up at the end of the day. And I used to kind of just throw it in a pile, and then maybe every few months I would have to then sit down and file everything. I didn't want to do it. And it was, first off, it would stress me walking past the pile all the time and then putting something on it. I would think, oh my goodness, look how big this pile is. And then I wouldn't want to sit down and deal with it because it was so out of control. And so it was just causing me stress the whole time. Whereas now it's no more than 2 minutes a day. And I go in there and it's done. And then I am happy every time I look in my study and there's no pile in there.
And aside, I'm talking to everyone now except you. What the heck is she filing every day? I mean, it's like you're operating a major corporation at your house. I don't know what you have to file every day, but I'm so glad you're doing it. It makes you feel good. I cannot imagine like filing that much.
We get there's the phone, not the phone bill, but there's like the electrical bill and this bill and that bill, and we have to keep it. It's just never mind. I guess you have all that online, but we need all that for taxes. So,
I don't pay taxes.
Okay, well, yeah, all right.
Joking.
99% of what I'm filing is for taxes, but I get a ton of mail every day.
Oh, see, I don't get any mail. I get no mail, really nothing.
Well,
so anyway, good for Anita.
Okay.
She's figured out a way to do that. So if you have paperwork and things like that, I think she's absolutely right. I'll just put it in this pile. And then every time I'm
just glad I'm not doing your taxes.
Oh, my taxes are so easy. My husband does them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have a pile of something that is a constant chore, a reminder of something you don't want to do. Now, this could be your pile of receipts and things to file, papers. It could be a bag of things to take to Goodwill. It could be a pile of laundry to put away. If you've got things like that are prominently displayed in your home in an area that you're seeing all the time, and it's a constant reminder of having to do something you don't want to do, well, what do you think that causes you? Stress. So what do you want to do that for? You can eliminate it. So just, what Anita's saying is so true. Just get it done on a daily basis. So take care of the daily debris, so to speak, every day. And that doesn't mean staying up until 12:30 a.m., picking up, Polly Pocket shoes or Legos from your carpet and putting them in little containers. Like sometimes you just have to let it go. So you kind of have to do a dance with the letting go of perfection and the keeping up with the daily debris. So you have to find a balance that's right for you. But it is so nice not to have a constant reminder of something you don't want to do, just looking at you in the face all day long.
I think the stress thing, now I'm not talking about kids' toys, but after a certain age, I got to where if we were doing anything fun, and when I tried to put in at least one fun thing a day, we didn't get to the fun thing until everyone cleaned up their mess. So
Whoa.
they had, there was a lot of cleaning up. In fact, there was at some point, Evie was like, she didn't want to have any friends over because she didn't want to have to clean up after them.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off. Yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
So I want to extend beyond the not just the bills and the staying on top of your filing, but staying on top of anything that can kind of get out of hand. So I promised myself at the beginning of this year I would not let my inbox get out of hand in my email, my filing of bills, receipts, all that stuff. And then thirdly, laundry. And that was another thing. I was doing laundry and then throwing it. Not to say I don't have laundry sitting there now, but I will take care of it today. But, the stuff would come out of the dryer and it never got hung right away. So everything had to be ironed because I never hung anything on time. It was just a mess. Yeah. And then when I would be able to do the laundry, I would be overwhelmed with loads and loads and loads of laundry. So now it's just kind of like, I think of it like chunking things into smaller chunks. If you have a smaller chunk, if you just keep on top of the little chunks of the day, it's just a little chunk. But once you've let it build up over weeks or months, then things just feel out of control. And then you feel like you cannot even deal with them.
Yeah.
So many things like that. Clutter gets out of control, dishes, just all that stuff. If you can just kind of keep that in control. And it takes so little time to do it if you're taking care of it on a daily basis. But in that stuff, it's stressful.
Yeah. Here's another one that's more fun, is create a focal point that you really enjoy, that really touches your heart. Something you're going to see, maybe it's even when you first walk in the door. Create a focal point that makes you feel really wonderful, whether it be a piece of art, even just treating yourself to a bouquet of cut flowers on a regular basis and having a vase that you put it in. Maybe it is in your entryway. Maybe it's on your kitchen counter. Just something that makes you feel good and gives you that, I'm home, I'm relaxed, I'm not being greeted by a pile of things that I need to be doing. I'm surrounded by the things that I love. And this particular item, this focal point is jumping out and saying, hey, you're home, take your shoes off, relax, let the stress of the day fall away from you. So that's pretty easy to do. And it doesn't have to be something elaborate. It just has to be something that speaks to you.
I think having something beautiful to look at as you enter your home is a wonderful idea. How about this one too? Adding plants inside. I think there is so much de-stressing involved with looking at beautiful live plants in your home.
Oh, yeah. And plants do so much for a room, obviously, but also do so much just for your psyche. Something organic is really important in a room. And I don't think you'd be wrong in putting a plant in almost every room. You can have a large one in your living room, and a little one on the counter in the kitchen, maybe a little pot of herbs, something like that. It's amazing what these small touches will do to sort of soothe you, to self-comfort. And taken individually, it's like, oh yeah, so I put a pot of basil on the side of my counter. Like all my troubles are not going to just trickle away. But if it's there consistently and you do it in addition to these other tangible things that we're talking about today, in addition to try to shifting your mindset away from perfection and all of that we spoke about in the beginning, all of that, just like all the stresses that may be happening to you at work or personally or whatever, how they all add up. All these things that you're doing to de-stress also add up, but in a positive way. And the best place to really be doing that on planet Earth is in your own home. So I think if you do a few of these things, if not maybe do every single one of them that we're talking about today, I think you're going to really see an impact on your life and how you're feeling.
What about that exercise equipment that's taking up a lot of space in your room that you don't want to use? I mean, talk about a guilt trip every time you walk by it.
Yeah.
If you've got exercise equipment in your house and you're not using it, just move it on to somebody else or sell it or something, because honestly, it's just going to be driving you nuts looking at it all the time. And I would add to that, what about that half-finished project that you've left sitting out? Because you don't want to put it up because it's not finished yet, but clearly it's been there for a year.
Yeah.
This is a stressful thing for you to walk past every day. And you may think you're ignoring it, but it's weighing on you. So it's another one of those things. If you're not going to finish this project, if it needs to be done, hire someone to do it, or just get rid of it or put it in the garage or something. So you're not having to see it every time you're walking around your house.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. And that exercise equipment, it's so true. I have these lovely clients, and the wife makes the most amazing facial expressions because oftentimes the husband wants to work with us when we're doing things.
Oh, no.
And it is just so classic. And he's got closets full of the stretchy bands and little weights and things like that. And she'll be like, so, hey, do you think that maybe we could, Kelly and I were going to just sort of, because we're doing the office, and we're redecorating it, and maybe we were going to put all that in a bin. It's like, oh no, I'm going to be using that. And there's dust on the stuff. There's dust on it. He's not using that stuff. Like, come on. So if you're the equivalent and you've got dust on your stuff, no, Get rid of it. Anita is
Well,
so
see,
right.
yeah, so we've kind of done when I've been told, by family members, I'm using that or I'm going to use it and I can see it's clearly covered with dust. I kind of put a time limit on it and say, okay, you have until this date. And if I don't see that, if this has not been like, I'm marking where it is, like if this has not been picked up, I will know.
Oh.
And then after this point, if you can't agree to get rid of it, then it's at least going in the garage or something.
Yeah.
So then they know. And then when it happens, they're not fighting with me because they know it's true.
They know. It probably makes them feel better too, because they were never going to really lift up those little weights or get those bands out or finish that needlework or painting or whatever they were doing. Yeah.
No,
You're
I'm the organizer.
them.
And
You're
my family,
them.
when I start saying, okay, we are going to organize fill in the blank, I get so many dagger eyes and things thrown at me. I mean, they really hate me in the beginning, but at the end, then they really do appreciate it reluctantly. They admit it's better not having the mess. And the clutter of things that are just staring at you, taunting you.
They do appreciate you at the end.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
I know they do. I know they must.
How about the color blue and green? Those colors are very associated with de-stressing and relaxing. So if you have a stressful life, those are some good colors to use in your home that will help you relax. And these are the colors of the ocean and of the sky.
Yeah, I think that those colors really are helpful. But whatever colors make you feel good. But obviously, the revved up colors, if everything is red, you're going to feel a little like woohoo. Other than if it's a pale blue. So think about it. Do you even if red and orange are your favorite colors, if you're so stressed out, maybe you should start thinking about wearing those colors, but having your home decorated in more soothing colors, particularly your bedroom.
Even neutrals. If you're one of those, if you're like Kelly, blue is just not your color, then try some neutrals. That might be calming.
Creating space. We did a whole podcast on the use of negative space, positive use of negative space. That is so important in de-stressing. It's right up there with just having bags and piles and all of that. Just too much stuff, too much furniture. Segues me to the next point. Create pedestrian pathways throughout your house. So if you don't have a way to get through your rooms that are comfortable and you're kind of like making a sharp 90 degree or banging your knee every time you go past something, change things. Just because something landed someplace 15 years ago doesn't mean it needs to be there. It may seem like, how's that going to reduce my stress, Kelly? Well, it is, because if you don't have to be maneuvering around in your own home, if you feel like you can walk from one side of the room to the other and sit in a comfortable chair, that's going to be a stress reliever.
Mm-hmm. Right. If all your chairs have laundry in them,
it's not the worst.
Yeah, I know. It's just not fun to go in the room. So how about adding some essential oil diffusers? Lavender is my favorite for a relaxing scent. I mean, do you have any favorites, Kelly?
Oh, I would say lavender would be mine as well. Copying you. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No. But essential oils are just some scents that you find that you love. You can do some research and figure out which ones are meant for relaxing. But I think that's a nice way to just add some calmness to the room.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. And then you also don't have the stress of burning your house down with a candle. And you could probably leave that going. Don't some of those diffusers even on timers? So say if you're at work all day, maybe it clicks on half hour before you come home or something like that. And you come in. Isn't it nice when you come in and your home smells good?
Oh, yes.
That is so lovely. So maybe you can create that. And it's a whole sensory experience. So you walk in, you take in this lovely scent, and then you don't see piles of junk everywhere. And then you see your beautiful fill in the blank focal point. And you're like, oh, this is so great. This is my house. I'm so happy to be here. We talked about color and colors. Also, limit your color palette. This is something that's so important for decorating in so many ways. And it's really one of our hallmark tips on the podcast. Limit your color palette. That's a lot less visual noise. And you've got a whole Crayola box of colors going on. It'll be a lot more relaxing. Really, no matter what colors you choose, if there's a limited color palette, it will definitely be more relaxing. Lighting, so key. Now, if you come in and you have one switch, and when you flip it on, all these overhead lights go on, and that's all you've got going on, and they're only at the brightest of the bright level, that's not relaxing. That's a place where you perform surgery. That's a place where you're like, I have to get this splinter out. That's the kind of lighting you need for that. You don't want that lighting all the time. So dimmers, a variety of lights. Try not to have just overhead lighting. Scent, lighting, positioning of your furniture, and creating a space that's beautiful and that touches your heart.
I want to go back to the lighting thing, and I think you're so right. The other thing I want you to think about is that blue light is associated with daytime, and it's going to impact your ability to get sleepy at night if you're still being bombarded with blue light. So you want yellow light before you're going to bed, and you don't want too much of that. So incandescent bulbs, I know we were talking about that, but there's some other bulbs you can get. Just make sure and check your bulbs and make sure the light is not too blue, because that's fine during the day, but as you're getting closer to bedtime, you really don't want those bulbs on, or switch them out for some yellow ones.
Gosh, there's just so many little things that you can be doing. Even if you just put a mirror opposite a window that is looking out into a garden, or even if it's just looking out onto your front lawn and then there's a tree on the parkway, something like that. That's a way to bring the outdoors in a really beautiful, easy way. No maintenance required. Just hang up a mirror and you've got that going on. The mirror will also do a lot for your room in other respects, but just having the sense of of nature being present in your home is a really powerful de-stressor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and opening those curtains and the shades during the day, letting the light come in, helps your mood. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do. And the lighting, I think you're right, is very key to set a sense of well-being.
Anita, what are we going to learn today? Tell us what the DTT define is.
Well, this one's really simple. It's a mullion, and that is the vertical wood between window frames. So it's pretty simple and easy, but I know you've heard the term, and now we know what it means.
Is it only vertical?
I believe so. I mean, that is in the definition, is just vertical.
Interesting. So if it's multi-paned and there's some horizontal things?
Well, I mean, I think later we can go into all the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different pieces to it. I think we should cover those because, I mean, it is interesting and you've heard all the terms, but, I have a hard time remembering which one is which. Like, I know the parts, but what's the name for everything sometimes?
Right.
It's hard to remember.
Good to know. It's all lying ahead of us. It's very exciting. All the information we're going to get.
Only to us.
And everybody listening. Come on. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach.
And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. What's your crush?
I am enjoying the show Harry Wild. Have you been watching that?
No.
Okay, it's on Acorn, and it's about a literature professor, Harriet, or Harry Wild, and the character's played by Jane Seymour. And so the character's retired. She gets mugged, so she moves in with her son temporarily, and somehow gets involved in a crime case, and then she becomes
She's no longer a doctor, Dr. Quinn, a medicine lady.
No. Now she's English. She's lost her American accent. Now it's English.
But isn't she English to start with?
She is English. I know.
She went back and forth.
Yeah, it's back to the real one now.
Talk about reinventing yourself. Go, Jane, go.
I know. So, I mean, she looks great. I don't know how old she is, but she still looks fantastic.
Does she still have all that long hair?
She does. So, yeah.
That's her thing. My crush today is something I use every single day. It's very foundational to my office, and it's really inexpensive. It's my blotter. I'm using for my desk a piece of furniture, a vintage piece of furniture that is kind of an interesting table. I don't know if maybe in a DTT defines, you could tell us what this is, but it widens. And it has these interesting cranks inside of it. So I used to have it narrower.
The desk wide.
Yeah, and it's not even really a desk, probably. It's more of like a console table, and it's a trestle, like you taught us a couple of weeks ago. So anyway, I'm using that as my desk, and it's great, but I didn't want to be pressing on it with pens and having my computer sit on it because it is a nice antique. So I bought this blotter on Amazon, and it's so simple. It comes rolled. It is vegan leather, which I like to say rather than pleather. And it comes in lots of different sizes. Mine is 31.5 by 15.7. So that's large. I think there's even a larger size and then a smaller size. It has stitched edges, super easy to clean off. You can spritz it with your regular cleanser or just wipe it with water. And it comes in a lot of different colors as well. And it's right now, Amazon just changed a little bit, but it was like $12.10. Really weird amount. Definitely protects the furniture, and it kind of brings in a little bit of more of a modern feel against the wood furniture that I'm using as a desk. So thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.